Okay, Assalamu alaikum. This is Edip, peace be with you. It is 24th of July, 2021. Let me, this one, how can I eliminate this? Okay, I don't need this one here, oh my God. Okay, I will learn about it. I don't know how to close the bar next to it. Okay, I see. Okay, now I am able to arrange the visual. Assalamu alaikum. I had some issues with my eyes. I think I had allergy, therefore I had to go to the doctor. I was not able to communicate with panelists. I had few panelists in my mind. It was short notice. It was a little bit spontaneous, but I thought that this issue we need to discuss, and I will take some people here. We'll discuss about the new Turkish role in Europe and in Asia and in Africa. There is a new Ottoman aspirations right now. It's been resurrected by Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He has been in power for 19 years. And let's see. Okay, I need to turn this one off. I apologize because just I came. Therefore, I'm trying many things at the same time. Okay. Now I want to show you one cartoon, not cartoon. Yeah, it is a cartoon, but by pro-Tayyip Erdogan media. And let's see. I want to show you. I think it explains a lot. It explains a lot. Here it is. Okay, here is this. Okay, this is the cover, and this one. Miswak is a media supported by Tayyip Erdogan, AKP, which is a fascist religious party cult. And this is their own depiction of their foreign policy. CHP is a Turkish opposition party, the biggest opposition party, which is secular and anti some of the AKP's policy. They are not doing well in terms of opposition, unfortunately, but they are trying to show that CHP is against Turkish ambition to grab lands. Look, Bulgaria, Romania, on the left side, look at this. This monster is trying to grab, invade Bulgaria and Romania and Greece. And here Cyprus is already got and is attacking to Syria and Iraq and also Azerbaijan. Is a monster, bloody monster. And you see also how stupid they are. This is their media, Miswak, watch it. It is their supposedly humor media. This is exactly what they want. I don't know, let me check whether you see it here. Yeah, you see it. Is unbelievable. This is neo-Ottoman. They want to invade the world. They say it. And these are millions of people right now in 19 years through religious fascist propaganda they are raised, and in schools, also in cults. There are many cults in Turkey supported by the government. They are called the Naqshbandi cults. They have millions of followers. The purpose of this cult is just to make people if their IQ is 90 over 100, they reduce it to 70. They basically create morons and idiots. The factor is that reduces the IQ level of people. And also Diyanet İşleri Başkanlığı, it is religious affairs supported by government. The budget of these religious affairs, Turkish religious affairs, is more than about 5 secretaries, like to take care of, let's say, forests or education, Secretary of Education. The budget of these is more than 5. There are 100,000 imams are paid by the government, and the maintenance of mosques paid by the government, the tax of people. At least half of the population are not going to never go in their lifetime to these mosques. They are not religious, but their tax money is being spent on this. The reason is really to create mass, a culture that easy to be manipulated. And I want to here mention something important. You can find it on the internet. And let me try to find it now. I want to stop here. Let me stop this one. Okay. Okay. Okay. What is going on? Yusuf Hadid is here. Okay. Nice to see you, Yusuf. Now, Turkey so far, Turkey so far, I want to give you the background information. Turkey so far has interfered with the internal affairs of Libya, Syria. Turkey for years promoted internal war, civil war in Syria on behalf of, as a proxy force of United States and Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Got a lot of money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia because based on the order of the United States. Okay. And someone is calling me. I don't know how to even stop it. Then Iraq, in fact, the Turkish government are chastising the region called Kurdistan, interfering with them, imposing some of their will on them. And also Cyprus, threatening Greece, is a menace right now. Absolutely, like Saddam Hussein, you remember, menace attacked Iran. United States used against Iran, like United States, unfortunately, used against Syria. Tayyip Erdogan is a stooge, is picked and supported, unfortunately, by military-industrial complex in the United States. And right now is acting like Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein attacked Iran for about 7 years, caused the lives of more than 1 million people on one side and perhaps another million on the other side. And then wanted to invade Kuwait, and then the boss says, okay, stop right now, your expiration date has come. Now you are a boogeyman, a bad guy. I'm going to take you down, and which did. And it seems right now, a similar scenario is played. This guy is used, right now has spoiled, things can get away with murder, can get away with invasions, with massacres, and right now waving Holy Book, which is the betrayer, the enemy of the Quran himself, one of the biggest hypocrites, thieves, corrupt, stole hundreds of billions of dollars, not 1 billion. He, his family, and his cronies. And right now they are trying to be a proxy force in Afghanistan. And I think he's doing great disservice to Turkish people and Kurdish people and Arab people because he's destroying the country through this way. More than 50% of the population in Turkey live on minimum wage. And guess what? What is the minimum wage? It's about 2,700 lira. Right now, $1 equals 8.5 or 0.6 liras. Therefore, in terms of dollars, less than $400. Imagine, this is the income of more than 50% of Turkish population. They're starving. They are not nourished. Some people commit suicide. About 30% of the young unemployed. Great economy is crisis. This guy borrowed hundreds of billions of dollars, close to $500 billion from international banks. And then basically what he did for show off, he built buildings and bridges and roads. That's all concrete, concrete, concrete, everywhere concrete. And people look at it, wow, we are growing, we are becoming number one. And false information, feed a lot of false information, tickle their religious and nationalistic hormones. People got crazy. And of course, borrowed money provided some temporary wealth, credit cards. Right now, people are bankrupt. Millions of people bankrupt. And the bridges he builds, supposedly he builds, what he does, gives contract to his cronies. If the cost of the bridge is 1, they charge 5 or even 10 sometimes. And then the government guarantees certain amount of income for the bridge building company. For these many years, let's say 20 years, I will pay in daily for these many passengers, per passenger, these many dollars, guarantee these many passengers. If they don't pass, they don't pay for the bridge, they're all for pay. Basically, he's building with people's money, people has to pay, and guarantees this payment for the companies who are basically stealing incredible profit they make. And by this way, basically, he mismanaged, misdirected the resources of Turkey. Hardworking people, very good also educated population. But true lies, basically, there's nothing, no economy. Destroy the economy. And right now, Turkey is agriculturally dependent on Israel. While he's saying Palestine, Israel is bad, at the same time, he had the biggest trade relation with Israel. Israel is right now Turkish 3rd and 8th trade partners in terms of import and export. He's lying in every aspect. And now Israelis tomato or wheat grains come to Turkey, well, become dependent because you cannot use the seed for a new harvest. You cannot plant them. Israel got them. They have to buy from Israel all the time. This is just one of the many, many betrayal of the Turkish people, but they waved flag. Turkish flag. They sold their companies, profiting companies, they sold them to foreigners. They sold many lands to Arabs, big rich sheikhs in Qatar or in Saudi Arabia, Emirates, and make money each time, could get commission. But they wave flag and holy book and make lies in the past, these AKP media, these Erdogan's media, they were showing the picture of an empty hangar, like airport runway, and saying, well, we are right now making invisible aeroplane. Turkey hasn't been able for a long time make a simple car, but in few years, we'll make invisible air jet. Sometimes they make a mock-up, a little kind of sculpture, just simple 3D miniature version of something. Say, we are making this. We are number one. Number one in human rights violation, almost. Number one in imprisoning journalists. And number one in corruption. Okay. Think about this. This guy waved Hazreti Omar. Hazreti Omar is second Caliph. He's legendary for his justice, his sense of justice, his honesty, his fight against corruption. He's number one, Hazreti Omar. And he was talking about Hazreti Omar. He was a leader. He was Caliph, but he had patchy clothes. He was preaching in his rallies, in his party's meetings. Guess what? While he was waving Omar's patchy clothes, he made for himself the biggest mansion in the world, 1,150 rooms in Ankara alone. In fact, there were several palaces already, 5 or 6 palaces like Dolmabahce or Beylerbeyi Saray from sultans. He had already 5, 6, and Çankaya Köşkü. I know 3 of them right now, remember, but there are about 5, 6 palaces, beautiful buildings already he had. But he made for himself the biggest one in the world with poor people's money. As if it's not enough, now he made for himself in Otlukçu, in Marmaris. Marmaris is a beautiful city in Aegean part of Turkey. It has seashore. And the best part of it destroyed a lot of trees. He built over there for summer 300-room palace, another one. As if that's not enough, in my city, Bitlis, Ahlat, he's building another palace. Now he gave few days ago, this Tayyip Erdogan, who was waving Hazrat Omar Peshi's clothes, and he gave to people, poor people who are starving, poor people in Turkey. Honestly, they are starving. They are all complaining they cannot get food. In fact, just several months ago, the AKP mayors and the governor was distributing bag of potatoes to people and taking pictures, bragging about it, and people are lined, poor people. And in this country, this guy is doing what? Is wasting money on palaces. Unbelievable. His wife purchases the most expensive gifts from people's money. Thieves, petty, disgusting thieves. In Belgium, she went when they were in Belgium for one of the meetings, and the media followed the wife. The wife has headscarves, tell people you must be careful about your food, use small portion, don't waste your money. On TV, she tells people, hungry people, use small portion of food, don't waste it. Don't waste your money to this and that. But over there, she entered to the most expensive shop in Brussels. And the whole European media followed. They were curious about it. What is she going to buy? And she got out after half an hour or 1 hour with Hermes brand. It is Greek goddess Hermes. Inferiority complex of this woman. Tayyip Erdogan's wife, Emine Erdogan. And then the journalists, they wonder about the price of this bag. They got the receipt. They got the price. 49,995 euros. Do you know in Turkey how many euros people make in 1 month? More than 50% of the population making about 300 euros. 300 euros. Divide 49,995 euros to 300, you will find how many people's monthly income. Let me do it right now. I want to. 4,900 is just like 50,000, correct? €5 less than 50,000 euro. Divide by 300 euro. Yep, 166 months of income. Divide by 12 equals to 14 years of income of a hardworking person annual. 14 years. And a person, 50% of the population, one person is working in, let's say, in construction. The price of one single bag this woman got, stealing from their tax, this much. Okay, I want to invite Hadid, and we are right now going to talk about what is these neo-Ottoman ideas. Okay. Now, Erdogan, who is my classmate, and also we were together in the party when I was still Sunni. I was the leader of Islamist youth organization. We had 1 million members that time. But I parted my ways in 1986, but actually in 1989, and I left them. And right now, he got the support. Unfortunately, he's getting the support of Europe. Europe is supporting him in terms of billions of dollars annually paying him because they are scared that he may let the Syrian refugees lose to Europe. He's blackmailing them. Very interesting. But this fear of him and supporting this monster ultimately will not work. Europe is doing very bad. Absolutely. By being scared of his blackmail, I think Europe is enabling him, and he's getting more powerful and more powerful in Turkey. Imagine in 1 year alone, this Tayyip Erdogan filed lawsuit with people's money, enriching his own lawyers, and he's making also money from this. He sued 36,066 Turkish citizens for insulting him. For insulting him, either. And then I got about 30 lawsuits by him against me. Among them, 30 is me. This is 1 year alone. Totally, I think recently, a year ago, it was total 128,000 lawsuits against people. And in each of them, I have these lawsuits. I know in Turkish, there is online Turkish government site. You go there, you see all the lawsuits against you and other governmental documents about you. And I look at it, in each of them, his name is written, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Next to his name is victim. He's a dictator. He is the biggest thieves on earth. Maybe after few others, maybe he's competing with Putin. And Netanyahu is a small fish compared to them, much smaller in terms of corruption.
Edip, is
Yes.
my microphone working?
Yes, it is.
Salam,
Put
Edip.
your
Camera's off, yeah.
visual, I don't see you.
Unfortunately, I can't enable video at the moment. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good also. Just on the things about the lawsuits, that's the credit to you, you know, because if a dictator is doing lawsuits on you, there's an old saying, isn't it? You know who's in control when you find out who you may not criticize. And he's trying to censor people's voices through these lawsuits.
Of course.
And that's a credit to you, really. That's 30 creditations that you were speaking the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here, let me show you this one. I just put here, where is it? I just Googled right now. It is not the best, but 36,000 people probed in 1 year over insulting Erdogan. You can find this one. Here it is. This is in 1 year alone. Washington Post. How Erdogan turned the Turkish courts into, they silence people, into a political weapon. And this guy is my friend. He was also put in prison. He was member of Congress. Now he's reinstated. Once a while, they take one step back. But there is complete fascism in Turkey right now. Faruk Gergerlioğlu, a human rights advocate. Anyway, that's the way they are silencing. And imagine, right now he is corrupting other countries and exporting wars, and imported about 4 or 5 million Syrian refugees to Turkey, playing with the demographics of Turkey for some purposes. Once he will use this one as his base, because these people came there to Turkey. They are kind of religious people. They love him. And therefore he got just suddenly a few million supporters. Some of them are psychopaths, some of them ISIS from Iraq, from Syria. And also, once I think to use Turkey as a cheap labor for Europe, China got more expensive for things. Therefore, I think there is also interest of the Western world for cheap labor in close proximity.
As well, Edip, there was one thing, I think you might have seen it, at one point, because of the amount of Syrian refugees that were coming from Turkey to Greece by the boat, because it was overburdening the Greek navy. Erdogan knew this, and he threatened Europe he would send more refugees across the Aegean Sea to put pressure on the EU if they didn't help him with the EU application for Turkey to join, or something like this. Can you imagine that? MashaAllah, he cares about the refugees so much, he's using them as a political weapon.
Absolutely, he is using them, he cares less about them. Basically, he smuggled weapons and psychopaths to Syria instead of promoting peace there, trying to become a mediator for peace in Syria. He worked for Israel. This was Israel policy to divide, to weaken Syria and United States, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. He basically exported weapons. This is right now very well known. It has been declassified, this information, or unveiled. And also psychopaths. They supported ISIS and Nusra, Al-Qaeda there, against Kurdish people. And Kurdish people want in Syria and Iraq to be in peace with the Turkish people. But he sabotaged this every time when got opportunity, basically tried to create hostility between Turkish and Kurdish people. For a while, he supposedly promoted like peace process with the Kurdish people, but all to gain power, to use Kurdish people for his power. He used many groups and many parties, many allies, and dropped them. Each time used and then dispense them, and all to gain power. And as he confessed in one of his speech, it is on internet available. He said, I am Imam, he's Imam. He was Imam Khatib. He was basically a Sunni, like parochial school. We were studying in the same parochial school. If you get out from parochial school, the name of the parochial school is Imam and Khatib, means the preacher and the prayer, leading the prayer, that's it. And he says, if he is instructed for his cause, he will wear the Catholic priest like a bishop's clothes, robe, in order to achieve the end. That's the goal. He and Fethullah Gulen, they are like-minded, both of them megalomaniac, both of them had the new Ottoman aspirations. Both of them want to become sultan. I think Fethullah wanted more to become a caliph, and he wanted to become a sultan. And their aspiration, this megalomaniac dream, which is nightmare for people, in fact, brought them together to take over the country. And unfortunately, the United States found them. These are weak people, and they can be easily used and manipulated, and supported them, both of them. And later they fell apart after 11 years of corruption and repression in Turkey, terror, basically state terror, and they fell apart because of distribution of the spoils. And they couldn't, basically they got their appetite increased, they stole more money, and therefore they couldn't divide them on themselves, therefore they start fighting over the power. And Fethullah Gulen's party lost in Turkey, his cult, and Erdogan's cult won. And now they are also using this one in order to get more power, this supposedly military coup in 15 July 2016. It was orchestrated by Erdogan and his intelligence agencies. They used also some of Gulenists. It was a controlled coup in order to change the direction of the country, to justify his tyranny and power to make laws. Right now, he bypasses the legislators. There is no democracy in Turkey. It's a big lie. They are just theater. They talk over there. They don't have any power to make any legislation, anything. He's making the laws. It is called basically presidential decrees. Anyway, this guy now is in Afghanistan, and now we see Turkish people see groups of refugees coming from Afghanistan. Well, he wants to change the demography of Turkey, turn it to a backward country. Imagine people from Afghanistan who are much behind in terms of education, in terms of civility, in terms of appreciation of democracy and freedom. They are traumatized, and usually the worst of them come to Turkey. And therefore, there are very difficult future is waiting Turkey. Either we'll go to civil war, because there's Kurdish population very oppressed, about 20 million population. Now we have 5-6 Syrians, and these poor Syrians, in fact, their country is invaded by Turkey and stuff and other meddlers, and then they had to escape. But in Turkey also, there is backlash against them by Turkish people. They say, who we are, you foreigners? We are hungry ourselves, we cannot find jobs. Now you are getting our jobs, which barely feed us, cannot even feed us. And there is right now racism against Arab people. You understand? And they want to use also, I think the government wants to use Syrian population, Arab population against Kurdish people, because in their mind, they always look for evil ways, how to control and how to loot, how to steal, and to also
I have a question for you, Edip.
Change the attention, direction of the attention from their for their corruption to public discord. Yes.
Do you think, Edip, I've been speaking with some Turkish friends of mine who've been telling me about the worsening economic situation. There's no jobs. The lira is falling apart. It's like 100 British sterling is like, what, 1,200 lira now, something like this. Do you think there's any hope for Turkey to be, for Erdogan to be voted out democratically, or is it just a full-blown authoritarian dictatorship now?
Oh, no, Erdogan, I have been saying several years, will not leave power through election. Absolutely. If anyone dreaming that one is not very observant, doesn't know. I know him and his religion, his politics. I used to be that. You get the power, you are there forever. And this is the Sultanate. Look at his ideal role models, Fatih Sultan Mehmet, Yavuz Sultan Selim. They were sultans. They were not elected, and they have how do you say, the right to rule people, and no one can question them. They can even kill their children and their young brothers. Fatih Sultan Mehmet killed a 2-year-old brother, suffocated a brother, because this paranoid psychopath thought, well, he will grow. When you come 20, 30 years old, he will take away my throne. And therefore, they were murderers. They were killing each other, the worst people on earth. But his ideal is that when he makes bridge, he gives Sultan Mehmet bridge. And Turkish people right now, young generation, is raised with this ideal of becoming a Fatih, attacking Constantinople as if it is a good thing. It is not Fatih. Fatih of Mecca was a peaceful returning to their homeland. Muhammad was kicked out by the religious oligarchs, like Sunnis over there in Meccan idol worship. They are not different than Shiites and Sunnis. They were similar belief system and practices. In many ways, so much similarity, you would be amazed. In how do you say, is a manifesto for Islamic reform, you will see. And Muhammad returned there and peacefully did not kill anyone. It was his hometown. This Fatah is this peaceful return to your place, opening your arms. That was it. It's not going in with swords and bombs, killing people, invading their land. And Ottomans did what they did. They got their also children, young children, enslaved their children, turned them to soldiers. They turned the children of the countries they invaded. They hijacked, they basically kidnapped those kids from their families. They raped their women. They say we were just. What justice? This is reality.
Oh, is that the Janissaries, I think?
Janissaries, yeah, Janissaries. Yeah. The smart ones, they raised them, educated them. They were very kind of also pragmatists in terms of their imperialism. They didn't care really about religion stuff. Religion was a ruse. They were not religious themselves. They were drunkards, they were gamblers, they were adulterers, the Ottoman sultans. They were corrupt. But they used religion as opium of masses, to fool masses. But what they did, they basically invaded countries. They taxed them, heavily taxed them. That's it. It is about power, about their basically stupid, evil desire to be powerful. And now his ideal is this. Therefore, they are trying the picture I want to show again. This picture is incredible. This picture is to be seen by the world. This is by the media misfak, is supported, monetarily supported, politically supported by Erdogan's party, AKP. This is theirs. They are criticizing CHP is an opposition party, a kind of secular, but the cowards, they are not very good, unfortunately, in their opposition against Erdogan. They have their own also problem. but still they are opposing many of the corruptions that they are doing. And supposedly Turkey under Erdogan's dictatorship is trying to grab the world, to occupy the world. Look at this picture. you know, you expect these pictures done by their enemies. Do you understand?
Yeah. The irony.
Is the way they depict in themselves. This is an incredible, this misfak, it is their own media. And this is themselves, this is Turkey, Neo-Ottoman Turkey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 arms. Septa.
It's like they're saying we're trying to steal the world. Why are you messing with us?
Yeah.
Like, let us do it.
Septapod. I should change the cover with this one, correct? But people will not understand from cover. They think I draw this one, this ugly picture. Unbelievable.
I actually thought this was a news agency. I'm surprised it's actually
from
right,
Misfak. It is Mizah Dergisi means comedy, but this is a serious comedy. They are promoting Erdogan's religious fascist policies.
Neo-Ottomanism, yeah.
And this is supposedly the Turkish opposition party backstabbing Turkey, which wants to take over the world. Look at this. This is scary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct? 8. Is it octopus?
Going for Crimea as well. They're going to get bouncy with the Russians.
Oh, yeah. He wants to get Crimea. Next is Russia. Look at this.
Oh, God.
Unbelievable. Is octopus, but it is octopus is not kind of monster like this. Each place it enters, it kills people.
The Syrian one, yeah, and the Azerbaijan one in the east, they was giving them drones, I think.
Yeah, here they are threatening here, and basically they want to go to Europe, take over the world. It is their thing is, they say the world. You can see their tweets and stuff. When they brag about their past, Autobahn say, we
were so strong, we was running everything.
No. The world was shivering from fear from us. Dünyayı titretiyorduk. Dünyayı titretelim. Let's terrorize the world. This is the way their ideal is, to terrorize the world. I can't believe it. What kind of ideal is this? And they are the one, if you ask them, oh, America is imperialist. America is this.
Yeah.
May God not give you any power, any chance. American imperialism will be nothing compared to your...
It's pure hypocrisy, isn't it, Edip? Like they complain about the War of Independence or colonialism. They try to divide us between the Greeks, the Italians, and the Brits, and yet they're trying to do the same thing to everyone around them now. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it.
Pure hypocrisy. It is unbelievable. Pure hypocrisy. Yeah. Anyway, now what are they doing? Through refugees, bringing refugees from Syria and now from Afghanistan, Erdogan is doing several things at the same time, unfortunately. One is getting a cheap labor force to Turkey, reducing the price of the labor. By this way, it will become like China. People will work 24 hours a day, will make just wages barely surviving, unfortunately, destroying the Turkey. And second, by having these refugees in Turkey, is using for blackmail to Europe to scare them. And therefore, Europe cannot really do any sanctions against him because Europe is scared. It can let them lose all these refugees to Europe. And also Europe paying money to him. He's not giving really all this money to refugees. He's having great cut commission for him and his family, the biggest thief. And in Turkish history, never seen such a theft. And then also he wants to use this as a base for himself in Turkey. If there is some opposition party, let's say, against him, if he becomes weak, and he can utilize them as gangs. Right now, he has this party stole more than 100,000 heavy weapons from military and distributed to their gangs. Therefore, Erdogan right now is establishing his own parallel military, though he's controlling military, but he's not sure. Like Ottoman emperors, he's paranoid. And therefore, in order to secure himself more, he's creating several other militias. And in case, let's say he's doing fake election, in case he loses power, they will be going on the street. They will say fake elections and they will take over.
So he's creating his own janissaries, essentially, a royal guard.
Oh, yeah, right now. Yeah. And basically stealing money from the opposition. Opposition are very in difficulty. And also they got the wealth of many hardworking people in Turkey, accusing them of belonging to Gülen cult, Hizmet or Cemaat, which is a cult, and which was his ally. He supported the cult. The cult supported him for 11 years. They were basically sharing the spoils. But when after that controlled operation coup, so-called coup, they accuse anyone who associated with the cult. In fact, themselves were associated. Number one association with cult were the leaders of AKP. They were the partners, top partners. And they also encouraged people to join cults, schools, and go send their children to their dormitories and put their money in their banks. They were supporting this cult. And then after this coup, they turn against cult. Poor people, innocent but stupid people who follow this government and send their children to the cult. And they were accused being terrorists, have nothing to do with terror, these people. And they are put in prison. Their businesses, their companies, and their basically whatever wealth they had was taken by these thieves. And they are basically stealing. And unbelievable, one of this mystery is there is no end in their appetite. Billions of dollars they are stealing. They are not full. They get hungry and hungry. And his end will come. His end will come like maybe Ceausescu or Saddam Hussein. Ceausescu was supposedly, he was a socialist, but he started wasting people's money. He built himself that time the biggest mansion, and people starved, and later they rallied against him. They had a protest, and finally he was killed.
It reminds me a bit like the old Roman emperors of Rome, like Caligula and Nero. They get so power drunk and drunk on stolen wealth that in the end it becomes their own demise, really. Or they get assassinated by their own people.
Okay, let me give the link to here. Hold on. I want to give the link. Okay. Maybe a few people will want to join us, those who are viewing. I didn't advertise this one. It was just yesterday I decided to talk on this subject. Okay. You may, anyone who knows English, who speaks English, please feel free to come join us. Let's see what you have any addition to. I will close it maybe in 10 minutes. Okay, Yusuf? Nice to see you here.
Nice to see you also, Edip. How's the weather over there across the pond? Is it nice?
Recently, we are having rain, which we needed desperately. Last year, there was no rain in Tucson. It was drought. And this year, it's just a week straight it's raining. Beautiful. Okay, and we are worried about the direction of Turkey. It is menace right now. It is a subcontractor, sub-imperialist, like a scavenger. The lion, Russia and the United States go to a country, and then the leftover is left to Turkey, or instead of they going into that country, they send the Turkish troops. And in this case, unfortunately, the children of the poor people are in military. You don't see the children of the rich people or the ruling party. Sadik, okay. They are not going to fight. They don't die. They wave flags. They make decision for war, but they are in their mansion, in their palaces. Everything is luxury, but the children of the poorest segment of the population, they are sent there as to kill the children of other people. It is such a disgusting game, but also I blame the poor people. You should not be that stupid. Yes.
Old saying, Edip, you may have heard it as well. War is old men talking and young men dying. And
absolutely. Therefore, I say in Constitution, Yusuf, in Constitution of every country, this should be the rule. If a Congress and president and so let's say a committee, whatever, or if they make decision for war, if they go to war or make decision for war, their children should be in the front lines, not in the back of the line, kind of taking the pictures in protected.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, and they should be in front, like Muhammad. When there was war, he was in the war. He was in the front line, and the same with like Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. He was not behind. He was in the war. In fact, he got hit too. But these guys in their mansion, luxurious mansion, incredible thieves, they have fun, and meanwhile come wave flags and tell people, for God, for this flag, for this book, go kill people.
Go and die for me, kids.
There should be expectation from them. If there are 10 people, 10 young men died, we should see it. Let's say not 10, 100. If there are 99 children of the poor people died, we expect at least one, the children of the richest people and the children of the member of Congress who made decision and the children of the president should be. We should expect that. But if 1 out of million or 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of million, sometimes the children of the wealthy or those in power die, you see the picture of that person on magazines, in media, everyone talks about that. But we don't see that frequently. Very, very rare. Once in a while is a fluke. In the United States, for example.
Back in the Vietnam War era, there was actually a very famous song. It's so recognizable now with the Vietnam War, called Fortunate Son, in which they sing about, like, I'm no fortunate son. I'm not the son of a congressman, so I'm being drafted to Vietnam. Yeah. Meaning that if he was the son of somebody influential in the United States, and this goes the world over, not just the US, that he wouldn't be sent to his death as a poor draftee to the war. Like, and that's how most wars were. Even with Iraq, he didn't send Saddam didn't send his sons Qusay and Uday. They sent them there after the war finished to hand out medals and put on an army uniform. And he wasn't even there.
The same Erdogan's children. Erdogan's children. They are in a luxurious life. They are stealing millions and even billions of dollars from the Turkish taxpayers' money, but they are not in war. They don't go. Therefore, and I had a picture. I have a video of Erdogan. He was, oh my gosh, you should have seen it. I don't know. I wish I put them together. I have in some of my Turkish videos. He has about 7-year-old girl in uniform, military
Oh,
uniform.
I've seen that. It's so disgusting that, yeah.
And in front of the people says, wants to become a martyr. Mashallah.
Yeah.
He's encouraging that little girl. That girl is so
Right.
anxious, almost crying there,
Yeah.
and put a flag in her pocket and uniform, and encouraging that girl to go become a martyr. Disgusting.
It's so terrible that, and he doesn't even understand the irony of how bad that looks to the West as well. When we look at that and other places outside of the scope of propaganda within Turkey from AKP, they don't realize how bad that looks. Look at them like using this girl as a war kind of poster, like, go die for me, kid, go bring me some resources. It's ridiculous.
It is unbelievable. You can search for it. I can find later, and then I put the links under.
I think if you type on YouTube, it's Russia Today, Erdogan, and little girl maroon berets, something under that.
Oh yeah.
Maroon beret, something this. And he's like, mashallah, go die for me.
Here. Let me show you. Let me show. There are so many atrocities in Turkey. You cannot believe it. You see, he's kissing this girl. This girl is crying, and he hear this.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. And she's petrified. Look at her. She's so scared.
Of course.
Poor thing, like.
And he, in front of these people, he's kissing, he's encouraging children to go war.
Why don't you send your son to go fight? Send your kids.
Damn with him.
He's more than happy to send other people's kids to die for his oil. Why don't he send his son to die for foreign oil? You know?
Do you hear? He says, when he is become shaheed, this flag will be on her. Hold on, let me stop it, and then when I show it, the sound, share the sound. Okay, let me do it that way.
Ancak Erdoğan'ın teselli için seçtiği sözler tartışma konusu oldu.
Do you hear it?
Evet. Je, Yarbay, Bordo Bereli. Maşallah.
Maşallah, he says.
Türk bayrağı da cebinde. Şehit olursa.
He has Turkish flag in her. She has Turkish flag in her pocket. If she becomes martyr, they will put this one.
Bayrağı da inşallah örtecek.
Inshallah, she will be covered by the Turkish flag.
Her şey hazır.
She's ready for everything.
Değil mi?
Aren't you?
Birleşmiş Milletler Çocuk Hakları Sözleşmesi'ne dikkat çeken uzman.
Damn with him. He is that evil. He is that evil. He's in mansions with his children, but he's promoting wars, warmongering, and he's a thief. And but the Turkish people are deserving him, because when God in chapter 43, I think verse 54, Pharaoh subjugated them, but they accepted that, and they were evil people. They were bad people, the people of Pharaoh. Because in order Pharaoh and tyrant to be, their power comes from cowardice and immorality of the very people.
100%, yeah.
Therefore, people accept this. And in one of his speech, he said, he basically made up a lie, hadith lie against the Quran. Chapter 204 says, do not say shepherd us. Do not say shepherd us. Say, look at us like human beings. Therefore, the Quran rejects the shepherd and the herd example for people to be ruled. And he said that, he says, I am the shepherd and you are my herd. And this was in 14 November 2016 in biggest mansion in Ankara, in basically a big conference about agriculture. Okay, I want to leave. Nice to see you here. Thank you.